Today on MTG Unpacked, we're taking a look at the Fallout Commander deck, Scrappy Survivors. So this is a red, green, white deck. Commander here is Dogmeat, ever loyal. So let's see what else we get here. A 100 card deck, 38 new cards. Deck box, 10 double-sided tokens, foil etch, display, commander life wheel, strategy, insert, and reference card. We also get the collector booster sample pack in these. So let's get into it. And these are going for about $55 on TCG Player right about now. So not too bad, although not the cheapest. Alright, so let's see what we've got in here. So I like the packaging with this. We've got a deck here, deck box, and a flyer. And then here we should have the other stuff. Yep, looks good. So we've got some dividers and also some punch outs on the other side here for different counters. Alright. So let's see what we've got in the envelope. Here we go. This is cool. So we've got the Dogmeat going all the way up to 40 here, the life counter, and then down to 1 on the other side. And the flyer here, Scrappy Survivors. So telling us about the deck. So surviving the wasteland is more fun with friends. So you'll be looking for junk and I think auras to enchant lands and so forth. So it should be interesting. We got commander rules in case you're new to the format. And then here is Dogmeat, ever loyal, along with Preston Garvey Minuteman. So that's the other commander. And then we got a bit about magic colors and why are Dogmeat and Preston Garvey red, green, and white aligned. Okay, and let's take a look here at the collector booster sample pack. See what goodness we can pull out of here. Usually not a lot, but usually not that exciting. Okay, so we can discover the coolest cards apparently. And on the other side, there's more where that came from. Alright. And we get a Curie Emergent Intelligence. So you will pull different things to what I get out of these. This is random. And Biomass Mutation. Okay, so nothing too crazy there. And then we have a deck box. So here is Dogmeat. Let's put that together. So just a standard deck box. And then we have a deck itself. So let's go digging here. Digging with Dogmeat, so to speak. So we get our foil etched display commander. So this is the thicker cardstock. We have Dogmeat, ever loyal. Okay, so you're not going to be shuffling that into your deck purely for display. And then let's see what this commander is all about. So we have Dogmeat, ever loyal. It's a mythic legendary creature dog, 3/3 for red, green, and white. When Dogmeat enters battlefield, mill 5 cards and return an aura or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. So milling, you're just taking the cards from your deck, putting them in your graveyard, and whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, create a junk token. So that's something new. It's an artifact with tap. Sack this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play this card this turn, and what is this? Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, and then we have Preston Garvey Minuteman, another mythic legendary creature, human soldier, 4/4 for 2, red, green, and white. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a green aura enchantment token named Settlement attached to up to 1 target land you control. That's some cool flavor. It has enchant land, and enchanted land has tap. Add 1 mana of any color, and whenever Preston Garvey Minuteman attacks, untap each enchanted permanent you control. Awesome. And we have Brotherhood Outcast. Creature, human soldier, 3/2 for 2 and a white. When Brotherhood Outcast enters the battlefield, choose one. Return target aura or equipment card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, or put a shield counter on target creature. And if it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. That reminds me of Star Wars Unlimited. They have a similar sort of thing in that. Next up we got Commander Sophia Daguerre. Legendary creature, human pilot, 1/3 for 3 and a white with flash. Has crash landing, so when Commander Sophia Daguerre enters the battlefield, destroy up to one target legendary permanent. That permanent's controller creates a junk token. So we learned about the junk a minute ago. Next we have Acquired Mutation. It's an enchantment aura for 2 and a red enchant creature. The enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. So that means it attacks each combat if able and attacks a player other than you if able. Whenever an enchanted creature attacks, defending player gets 2 rad counters. So we learned about those in the other deck we took a look at so far. Next we have Crimson Caravaneer. Creature, human scout, 1/2 for 2 and a red with double strike and trample. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a junk token. Next we got Ian the Reckless. Legendary creature, human warrior, 2/1 for 1 and a red. Whenever Ian the Reckless attacks, if it's modified, you may have it deal damage equal to its power to you and any target. So equipments, auras you control, and counters are modifications. Next we got a Big Horner Rancher. Creature, human ranger, 2/5 for 4 and a green. Has vigilance. Tap to add an amount of green equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. And if you sacrifice it, you gain life equal to the greatest toughness among other creatures you control. Next we have Breakdown. Instant for 2 and a green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Create a junk token. Gunner Conscript. Creature, human mercenary, 2/2 for 1 and a green with trample. It gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. And when it dies, if it was enchanted, create a junk token. And when it dies, if it was equipped, create a junk token. So I assume if it was enchanted and equipped, you'd get 2 tokens out of that. We got a Super Mutant Scavenger. Creature, mutant warrior, 5/5 for 4 and a green with trample. When it enters the battlefield or dies, return up to one target aura or an equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. Well Rested. Enchantment aura for 1 and a green enchant creature. Enchanted creature has, whenever this creature becomes untapped, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Then you gain 2 life and draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Oh, we've got another bobblehead here. Agility Bobblehead. Artifact Bobblehead for 3. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour for 3. Tap up to X target creatures you control. Each gain haste until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control as you activate this ability. And of course the collector boosters, they have these serialized bobbleheads. And we've got a Perception Bobblehead. Artifact Bobblehead for 3. Tap to add 1 mana of any colour. And for 3, tap, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. You may cast a spell with mana value 3 or less from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And Silver Shroud Costume. Artifact equipment for 2 has flash. So when it enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains Shroud until end of turn. So that means it can't be the target of spells or abilities. The equipped creature can't be blocked. Equip it for 3. Then we have All That Glitters. Enchantment aura for 1 and a white. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. I like the flavour on this one. Sooner or later, the house always wins. I'm guessing that was from New Vegas. Next we have Path to Exile. Instant for a single white. Exile target creature. Its controller may search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And Valorous Stance, it's an instant for 1 and a white. Choose one, target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Then we have Sticky Fingers Enchantment Aura for a single red enchant creature. The enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. So that means it can't be blocked. It's set by 2 or more creatures, so that's menace. And the token is an artifact with tap. Sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and when the enchanted creature dies, draw a card. Next we have Abundant Growth Enchantment Aura for a single green enchant land. When Abundant Growth enters battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted land has tap to add 1 mana of any color. I think they had that one in the other deck as well. Fertile Ground Enchantment Aura for 1 and a green enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. Okay, so that could be useful for ramping. We have Rancor Enchantment Aura for a single green enchant creature. The enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. When Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Rancor to its owner's hand. And we got a Squirrel Nest Enchantment Aura for 1 and 2 green enchant land. The enchanted land has tap. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. I like it. Next we have Wild Growth Enchantment Aura for a single green enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. Then we have Behemoth Sledge Artifact Equipment for 1 green and white. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Equip for 3. Then we have an Arcane Signet. Find these in pretty much every commander deck these days. Artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And Brass Knuckles. Artifact equipment for 4. When you cast a spell, copy it. So the copy becomes a token. Equipped creature has double strike as long as 2 or more equipments are attached to it. Equip for 1. Then we have Explorer's Scope Artifact equipment for 1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. Equip for 1. And Fire Shrieker Artifact equipment for 3. Equipped creature has double strike. Equip for 2. And of course, the ever popular Soul Ring Artifact for 1. Tap for 2 colorless. So that is as seen on the playmat. We have Codsworth Handy Helper Legendary Artifact Creature Robot. 2/3 for 2 and a white. Commanders you control have Ward 2. That's pretty cool. Tap for 2 white. Spend this mana only to cast aura and or equipment spells. And tap, attach target aura or equipment you control to target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Then we have Idolized Enchantment Aura for 1 and a white. Enchant creature. The enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks alone, it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of non-land permanents you control. Then we have Pre-War Formal Wear Artifact equipment for 2 and a white. When Pre-War Formal Wear enters battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield and attach Pre-War Formal Wear to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Vigilance. Equip for 3. Then we have an enchantment saga here, Vault 101 Birthday Party. So as this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3. So on the first turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token and a food token. So a food token is an artifact with pay 2 taps, sack this artifact, you gain 3 life. And on the second and third turns, you may put an aura or equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. If an equipment is put onto the battlefield this way, you may attach it to a creature you control. Then we have Duchess Wayward Tavern Keep, legendary creature, human citizen, 4/3 for 3 and a red, has Hunters for Hire. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on it. And for 1, remove a quest counter from permanent you control. You get to create a junk token. Then we have Grim Reaper's Sprint Enchantment Aura for 4 and a red. Has Morbid. This spell costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn. Enchant creature, and when Grim Reaper's Sprint enters battlefield, untap each creature you control. If it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. The enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has haste. Then we have Junk Jet, artifact equipment for 1 and a red. When Junk Jet enters the battlefield, create a junk token, of course. And for 3, sacrifice another artifact, double equipped creature's power until end of turn, equip for 1. Then we have Megaton's Fate, sorcery for 5 and a red, choose 1, disarm, destroy target artifact, create 4 treasure tokens, or detonate. Megaton's Fate deals 8 damage to each creature. Each player gets 4 rad counters. Brutal. Then we have Vault 21 House Gambit, so an enchantment saga. On the first and second turns, discard a card, then draw a card. On the third turn, reveal up to 5 non-land cards from your hand. For each of those cards that has the same mana value as another card revealed this way, create a treasure token. Then we have Veronica, Dissident Scribe, legendary creature, human artificer rogue, 3/3 for 2 and a red with menace. Whenever Veronica attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards for the first time each turn, create a junk token. Then we have Animal Friend, enchantment aura for 1 and a green enchant creature. The enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on that token for each aura and equipment attached to this creature other than Animal Friend. Then we have Strong Back, enchantment aura for 2 and a green enchant creature. Equip abilities you activate that target enchanted creature costs 3 less to activate. Aura spells you cast that target enchanted creature costs 3 less to cast. An enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Then we have Almost Perfect, enchantment aura for 4 green and white enchant creature. The enchanted creature has base power and toughness 9, 10, and has indestructible. That is awesome. Next we have Armory Paladin, creature, human knight, 3/3 for 1 red and white. With trample, whenever you cast an aura or equipment spell, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. Then we have Kate Cage Brawler, legendary creature, human warrior, 1/1 for red and green. As long as it's your turn, Kate Cage Brawler has indestructible. Whenever Kate attacks you and defending player each draw a card, then discard a card. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kate if you discarded the card with the highest mana value among those cards or tied for the highest. Then we have Cass, Hand of Vengeance, legendary creature, human ranger, 4/3 for 2 red and white with vigilance. Whenever Cass or another creature you control dies, if it was enchanted or equipped, return any number of aura cards that were attached to it from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature. Then attach any number of equipment that are attached to it to that creature. That's pretty cool. So bring them back, the auras and enchantments, or equipments I should say. Inventory Management, instant for red and white, has split second. As long as the spell's on the stat, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. For each aura and equipment you control, you may attach it to a creature you control. Then we have Moira Brown, Guide Author, legendary creature, human citizen, 2/3 for 1 red and white. When Moira Brown, Guide Author, enters the battlefield, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Wasteland Survival Guide. With equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each quest counter among permanents you control, and equip 1. Whenever you attack, put a quest counter on target non-land permanent you control. I like the flavor on that one. Then we have 3-Dog Galaxy News DJ, legendary creature, human bard, 1/5 for 1 red and white. Whenever you attack, you may pay 2 and sacrifice an aura attached to 3-Dog Galaxy News DJ. When you sacrifice an aura this way, for each other attacking creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that aura attached to that creature. When you're listening to Galaxy News Radio, bringing you the truth no matter how bad it hurts. Alright, I guess that's a radio station in some of the games. Have not played terribly many, alas. Next up we have Mr. Gutsy, artifact creature, robot soldier, 1/1 for 2. Whenever you cast an aura or equipment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Mr. Gutsy. And when Mr. Gutsy dies, create X junk tokens, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Oh, it's the Pip-Boy 3000 artifact equipment for 1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, choose 1. Sort inventory. You get to draw a card, then discard a card. Pick a perk. You get to put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Or checkmate. Untap up to 2 target lands. Equip 2. Then we have Junktown. A land, tap for colorless for 4 and a red, tap. Sacrifice Junktown, create 3 junk tokens, of course. And Sunscorched Divide, it's a land for 1, tap, add red and white. Then we have Mantle of the Ancients, enchantment aura for 3 and 2 white. Enchant creature you control when Mantle of the Ancients enters battlefield, return any number of target aura and or equipment cards that could be attached to enchanted creature from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Then we have Pure Steel Paladin, creature human knight 2/2 for 2 white. Whenever an equipment enters battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Has Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Single Combat, sorcery for 3 and 2 white. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. Then we have Blasphemous Act. It says sorcery for 8 and a red. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. Blasphemous Act deals 13 damage to each creature. Then we have Chaos Warp. Instant for 2 and a red. I like the multi-headed bull here. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Then we have Heroic Intervention. This is a nice reprint. Instant for 1 and a green. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. And Basilisk Collar. Nice artwork on this one. You got Dogmeat there. Artifact equipment for 1. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink. Equip for 2. Then we have a Bloodforged Battle Axe, artifact equipment for 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Bloodforged Battle Axe. Equip for 2. Then we have Champion's Helm, artifact equipment for 3. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, and as long as equipped creature is legendary, it has hexproof. So that means it can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Equip for 1. And we have Masterwork of Ingenuity. That's quite an interesting piece of equipment there. Artifact equipment for 1. You may have Masterwork of Ingenuity. Enter the battlefield as a copy of any equipment on the battlefield. Then we have Canopy Vista, a land, forest, plains. Tap for green or white. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And Cinderglade. Tap for red or green. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Clifftop Retreat. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain or a plains. Tap for red or white. And Exotic Orchard. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Then we have Mossfire Valley, a land for 1 tap, add red and green. And Rootbound Crag. Enters battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain or forest. Tap for red or green. Scattered Groves, tap for green or white. Enters battlefield tapped, cycle for 2. And Scavenger Grounds. Tap for colorless for 2 tap, sacrifice a desert. You get to exile all graveyards. And Sheltered Thicket. Tap for red or green, enters battlefield tapped, cycle it for 2. Then we have a Sungrass Prairie for 1 tap, add green and white. Sunpetal Grove, another land, enters tapped unless you control a forest or a plains. Tap for green or white. And Temple of Abandon enters battlefield tapped, and when it enters battlefield scry 1, tap for red or green. Then we have Temple of Plenty, enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield scry 1, tap for red or, not red, green or white. Getting all mixed up with the colours here. Temple of Triumph enters battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1, tap 4, red or white. And Swiftfoot Boots, nice one. Artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Equip for 1. I don't need breaks. I usually find that if something stops me, it's interesting enough to stop 4. It's got the roller skates on there. Ash Barrens, tap 4, colorless, has basic land cycling for 1. So for 1, discard this card, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Then we have Buried Ruin. It's a land, tap for colorless for 2 tap, sacrifice it, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, and then digging into the rest of the deck here, I think it's mostly lands and tokens here. We have Command Tower, tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Evolving Wilds, it's a land, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And we have Jungle Shrine, enters tapped, tap 4, red, green or white. Path of Ancestry, another land, enters tapped, tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. And when that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. Then we have Roadside Reliquary. It's a land, tap 4, colorless for 2 tap. Sack it, draw a card if you control an artifact, and draw a card if you control an enchantment. Then we have Rogue's Passage, another land, tap 4, colorless for 4 tap. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Temple of the False God, tap 4, 2, colorless. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. And Terramorphic Expanse, tap to and sack it. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Alright, and then we have Full Art Basics. This is awesome. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains. Forests we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then plains. And you'll notice Dogmeat is missing there. You just stumbled out of the vault, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plains. Alright, so awesome that they have the full art lands for a change. Alright, so now we have a junk token. Token artifact junk, tap, sack this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. On the other side, we have a 1/1 squirrel, of course, loving it. And another junk. And on the other side, treasure. So tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Settlement token. So we got a token enchantment aura, enchant land. Enchanted land has tapped to add 1 mana of any color. And a human soldier 1/1. Then we have another settlement. And food. Pay 2, tap, sack this artifact, you gain 3 life. Nuka-Cola, the beverage of choice in the wasteland. And another treasure. And a wasteland survival guide. Token artifact equipment. The equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each quest counter among permanents you control. Equip for 1. And yep, we've got the treasure on the other side there. Food. And then we have another squirrel. Radiation. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards for each non-land card. Milled this way, you lose 1 life and a rad counter. Then we got a copy token on the other side. More radiation and copy, radiation and treasure. Okay, so lots of tokens in this deck. Radiation and treasure. And learn to play Magic and discover the coolest cards and parts of the turn and popular Magic formats. Alright, so this one is for all you dog fans out there. Dogmeat, ever loyal. I wonder if you could pair this with the Cats and Dogs Commander deck. That would be interesting. So here the main gist of this is all your units you're bringing out, you try to pump them up with auras and equipments. And so you don't need quite so many, but you can do a lot of damage. So it looks interesting. We've seen this type of thing before, but I think there's some fun new ideas here, along with, of course, the Fallout flavor. Let me know in the comments what you think about this deck. Are you planning to pick it up? And stay tuned, we'll be getting stuck into the remaining 2 commander decks in the next day or so. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.